It said, I think, therefore I am. And there's one more profound saying, like, I am, therefore I think. So whatever fascinates you and enables you to go deeper, take a deep dive. That's all up to us. I'm quite much into what Buddha says. Uh, as you think, so you are, so you become. As you believe, so you live. So this has actually been the quest, the higher quest, since ages, since ancient time. Not fascinated just the seekers of truth, the saintly people, but everybody in fact. Sooner or later, at least toward the end of the life, when they start realizing, when will we all start realizing that we are nearing death and we have lived enough now. We are in our 60s, 70s, or 80s, or 100s. It all depends from person to person. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the 82nd book in our book reading series. That is, Get Out of Your Own Way. Get Out of Your Own Way by Mark Goulston and Philip Goldberg. In fact, very recently, I think just 15 days ago, I had picked up this book and I found it very profound, very practical. I got it at one of the airports. This is really amazing. This is about overcoming self-defeating behavior. One of my mentors of life, Mr. Rajiv Sai, he always keeps saying that, often the good becomes a barrier for the greatness, for the great. So we need to first of all recognize when it comes to this, the title of this book, Get Out of Your Own Way. What do you mean by your own way? And what do you mean by you yourself? So when we closely observe and very honestly observe, in fact, when we drop all our conditionings, the very naming ceremony, I mean the name which we got from our family, the caste, the religion, the culture, the nationality, the geography we live in, who you are, what does it mean to you when it comes to your identity. And many times, as we know, as many roles we play in life, maybe as a son, as a father, as a team player, as a professional, as a friend, different kinds of friends to different kinds of people. So multiple roles we are playing. We may look like one, but from inside that you are not one person. You are different. You are different people in one framework. In one photograph, there are different personalities, isn't it? The way, what way you define, maybe the higher purpose of life, maybe knowing yourself. So in that higher quest, you need to get out of your own way. By getting out means all those identities, especially the ego-driven identities, which become a barrier in knowing your true self. We all know about this mirror test, Aina, mirror test. And when a mirror is shown to baby dolphin, she is able to recognize that the reflection in the mirror is not somebody else, but it's her own reflection. Yeah. But I'm told, and I read somewhere apparently, that it becomes very difficult for a kid of human being to pass through mirror test. It takes time. It takes time. Yeah, because it thinks that the image in the mirror is someone else, not the person himself. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कभी कभी पूरी ज़िंदगी लग जाती है ये जानने के लिए कि उस आईने में जो रिफ्लेक्शन है वो एक्चुअली कौन है और हम कौन हैं, ये भेद जानने के लिए कि एक्चुअली में हम है कौन। बातें बहुत ही बड़ी बड़ी होती हैं, हम सुनते हैं, सुनाते हैं, मैं शून्य हूँ, हम ब्रह्मास्मि, मैं ये हूँ, मैं वो हूँ, मैं अजर हूँ, अमर हूँ, मैं जो भी हूँ. But how much actually we live, and what kind of definitions we have made. For example, it's a very, very, very ridiculous definition, which I feel that someone says this is an enlightened being, and then someone says, these are the parameters of enlightened being. That enlightened person will never get angry. That enlightened person, when he is supposed to buy a tie for himself, he will not spend a lot of time on buying a tie. tie. Jiddu Krishnamurti के life में भी ऐसा हुआ. Uh, one of his very close friends, when she saw that Jiddu Krishnamurti is taking a lot of time even in deciding which tie he should go for at certain shop, and she thought, if he's an enlightened, why is taking so much of time to choose a tie? What nonsense. खैर अपनी अपनी बातें. First of all, we should not get into this word called enlightenment. It's a very, very heavy word and most misused word called enlightenment. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And who is actually Mark Goulston? Mark Goulston is actually MD, a board certified psychiatrist, trained at Berkeley, Boston University. And he has been doing phenomenal work, and he's sharing actually his life experience, what he means by getting out of our own way, how to clear all those roadblocks, yeah, and keep evolving. Yeah. I'll go through the contents of the book, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's basically first is how it's basically about how to beat self-defeat behavior, and 10 things you can learn from self-defeating behavior. Introduction, how to beat self-defeat, yeah, and how to use this book. These two chapters are very important. I really like that. Then the first one is chasing after love and approval from a parent. This becomes a roadblock. Why to seek certification of clarity from someone else? Yeah, definitely listening to them, respecting them, obeying them up to a certain extent is really, really required. Yeah, but you should not become that a puppet in someone's hand. Second is getting involved with the wrong people. We all know we are an average of 5 people, of our friends. Third is procrastination. Fourth is expecting others to understand how you feel. Fifth is waiting until it's too late. Sixth is getting so angry to make things worse. Seventh is saying yes when you want to say no. This I can understand as a professional many times, because that fear of not getting well treated at job, and ultimately boiling to fear of maybe losing a job or maybe not growing in job, so that kind of fear. And then 8th is holding a grudge. We have to let go all those grudges. 9, assuming they don't want anything in return. 10th is playing it safe. 11th, always having to be right. Now this point, 11, always having to be right, I think most of us, each one of us, are deeply conditioned to this. Even our day-to-day conversation, we always ensure that we prove that we are right. Subtly, indirectly, may not be directly sometimes. I have seen even people, near and dear ones. Suppose you are going through some painful situation in life, yeah, and the front person will not realize this, that they will prove their point that they are right, Even when it comes to prescription of medicine or maybe saying do's and don'ts or something, they will say, मैंने कहा था ना ये करना चाहिए, आपने नहीं सुना, अब देखो, भुगतो. 12th is focusing on what your partner is doing wrong. There is some things we always look at, the wrong things of people. Yeah, गोलकीपर ने 10 गोल बचाए, किसी का ध्यान उस पर नहीं जाता, लेकिन जब वो एक गोल बचा नहीं पाता है, everyone, I think we all know that. Instead of changing yourself, trying to change others, which is next to impossible, I think this is the impossible thing. Drishti nahi, drishti badlo. What you can change is change the way you look at life. You can't change anyone. You can't change your own near and dear ones. And that's actually why you should change. As you know, I don't get into the details of the book because I don't want to spoil the enthusiasm. But we will take into one chapter. For example, the 14th one, trying to make up while you are still angry. Right? We all know, anger management, and we all have sutras and success formula of anger management. So here in this book, what it says, when you are getting invoked or someone has pressed your heart button and you are getting a little angry, so you need to shift your focus from anger to the reason why you are getting angry. There could be certain principle you are holding on. For example, someone humiliates you at workplace, so you need to keep in mind the principle that a workplace, everyone has equal right to be happy. Yeah? And there are certain SOP, standard operating procedures. Yeah? We need to respect all. So focus on that, and maybe you can discuss with HR, I mean your line manager, about this. Yeah, because the ideal would be when you're able to transform that energy of anger into compassion, but sometimes practically it is not possible. People say that you just keep observing yourself. That's actually my style. Being the observer of that particular emotion. Just go back and observe, and it helps me tremendously. Yeah, but in case if it's not helping you yet, you can think about the principles. So don't get into sarcasm. Don't. It sometimes happens with me also that I prefer to be venting out the anger then and there. It's fine, but because I know holding on that anger is more dangerous. Yeah. Great about this book, which I really love, is usable insight. Usable insight. They have mentioned and usable insight. For example, in this, relationships end not because you stop loving, but because you can't stop hating each other. So true. From this chapter, one of the usable insights, what they have mentioned about is, relationships end not because you stop loving, but because you can't stop hating each other. So then, second is, taking action. Taking action. Some of the identities may be becoming your roadblock, clashing when it comes to achievement of the higher purpose in your life. So you need to tell this identity, now don't disturb me, be there, and I will address you. But right now, I'm this. I want to focus on this, and I want to achieve this. Yeah. So when the goal gets stuck in your eyes, it obstructs the vision. You get blinded. So many times your so-called good things, good. How you determine good? Because you think these things, these practices, these faiths, these belief systems, help you to be successful in life, and then you think this is the good thing, because it doesn't harm me, it doesn't harm anyone. But over a period of time, it becomes obsolete, and it actually starts harming you and the people around. So you have to first recognize. Then you need to be your upgraded version. Like Lord Krishna says the same thing in Gita, that we are the field of consciousness, and we have this infinite potential, infinite consciousness, and it's we have this freedom to choose which role we can live. So we have this. In fact, if you ask me, this is a divine gift, that we are actually not mortal, we are immortal being as consciousness. But definitely as body, definitely as an identity, we are mortal, and that's absolutely fine. This quality actually enables us to actually live the best of best life, Yeah. So get off your own way in a positive sense on overcoming self-defeating behaviors, and see that what's your purpose of life. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for always supporting me for my different missions. So let's go evolve, go explore, get out of your own way, make your most. Bye-bye.